let's kind of delve into some other things that have been floating around in our world over the last 7 days. Somebody who's not really that vocal but has been vocal this last week is Mr. Carl Froch. He's made some very interesting comments towards obviously Anthony Joshua and now Eddie Hearn and Frank Smith. Just coming on to his comments, Gareth, about he believes that Anthony Joshua should just call it a day, and he believes that Eddie Hearn should be telling Anthony Joshua to call it a day rather than kind of, in Carl's word, milk him for whatever else. What do you think about that, first of all?
Well, Carl's trolling. I mean, there's always a slice of truth in what Carl's talking about. He's very smart. He doesn't like me calling him a troll, but he does troll online. There's no question about it. Look, Anthony Joshua's still got 2 or 3 fights left in him, in my view. I still think he should be looking at a Deontay Wilder fight if Wilder beats Herndon next weekend. I still think that's a doable fight. It's a fight I'd like to see in the generation. We've got to see Wilder capable of pulling the trigger. And if that happens and he gets a viral knockout, gets an optical moment, gets the optics right, then I do see Wilder and Joshua in the UK as a big event. I don't agree with Carl that Joshua should be calling it a day. He's still got the hunger in him. He's still capable of earning a lot of money. I still think if Tyson Fury finds the time not filming the Netflix series, he will be capable of coming and fighting Joshua at some point. But I think they need to make that fight sooner rather than later. So if it's not done by the spring of next year, I don't think it'll ever happen. But it's down to Fury. But Joshua's got to move on, so he does need to be in fights. He's coming off that terrible defeat to Daniel Dubois. And as Ben Davison explained on Talk Sport the other day on the boxing show with Simon Jordan and Spencer Oliver, the rolling of the dice was a code word for throwing that uppercut, getting in close, throwing over the top, and then going for the uppercut, which they'd identified Dubois as being vulnerable to, and it almost worked with that big right hand and trying to throw the uppercut, and he got caught. No, I don't agree with Carl. Far be it from Carl to be telling other people to call time on their career. I mean, he was a great champion, Carl, and I've covered virtually all of those. I think it was 11, 13 world title fights in a row, and he was an amazing fighter. Granite chin, bit down on his gum shield, ultra fit, brilliant right hand, slung the left hand low, the right hand up here, a massive entertainer. If you think that he'd said if he'd lost to Lucian Bute, that would have been it. But it was a different time then. And I think if Carl had been around now and there was the kind of money on the table that there is for the kind of guys who thrill like Carl Froch did, I think he would have stayed in the game. You think about the Jermaine Taylor fight. He'd fought Jean Pascal in front of 5 million on ITV. They pulled the plug on boxing after that fight, even though it was a massive audience. And I think he was on Premier Sports when he fought Jermaine Taylor. I think only 25,000 watched that in this country, and he obviously pulled off an incredible finish. 14 seconds left in the fight, I think it was, for the knockout. So, no, I just don't agree with Carl. I think he's playing the troll. He's even sending private messages to Anthony Joshua saying...
Absolutely not.
I don't know about
that. That definitely wasn't happening.
He's not a bad... Look.
No, he's not. Listen, I do think part of it is what Carl thinks, and I think part of it is Carl's obviously doing his stuff on Froch and Fighting, which is like getting bigger and bigger, and I think it's for effect, but also I do believe a lot of it is what Froch thinks.
Oh, so you think Froch is right then that Joshua should retire?
Who said that?
I'm just saying, do you
I just said he does it for effect, right? And I said that he believes
What's your opinion?
Absolutely not.
No, exactly.
Absolutely not. I don't think Joshua should retire. Absolutely not.
Yeah, I think he's got 3 fights left. He wants another run at it, the final run. If he loses again badly in his next fight, then he might well think about it. But, you know, he was in against the most dangerous puncher in the heavyweight division. Who knows what Dubois might do against Usyk this time. I still think Usyk wins, and I still think he wins maybe by late stoppage. But I was in Daniel Dubois' camp 2 weeks ago, and he looked phenomenal. And he is a different person. He's much more open now, as you know. He's changed as a man. He's full of confidence, and he's fully capable of knocking out anyone in the division. So, and I think he'll be very dangerous for the first 4 or 5 rounds. But Mr. Froch plays this very sleek game of appealing to a brutal honesty about boxing that, as I say, there's always a slither of truth in what he's saying about in his opinions, but he takes that particular view. Boxing has a spectrum of views, and if there's still a market there and he's still commercially viable, then he's going to keep going. Yes, I agree with other people saying that there's no way Joshua deserves a world title shot next. If Daniel Dubois was to beat Usyk and win all the belts, he doesn't deserve that rematch for the undisputed, even if it's commercially viable.
Yeah, but it's not what you deserve, it's what you can negotiate, isn't it? If that's the biggest fight, Dubois to beat Usyk, and the biggest fight at that point is for a rematch between Joshua and Dubois, that's going to happen.
Yeah, well, if they will, but I think Usyk will probably get a second shot, or they'll do a trilogy fight, because Usyk will probably want to right the wrongs if he gets beaten. But again, at the age of 38, he might not want to. It's certainly a fight I'm looking forward to. I mean, we've got some great events coming up in the next month. Obviously, with you've got the Serrano-Taylor trilogy. You've got I'm trying to think of the other. Oh, you've got William Zepeda and Shakur Stevenson, which is another brilliant fight, in my view. Hamza Shiraz and Edgar Berlanga. That's creating a bit of heat, isn't it? Hamza likes to react later rather than earlier to people trash talking him. He's not naturally disposed to that either. I see they're at it again now. But I'm not going to disagree with you. There is a viability in Joshua fighting anyone if that fight makes money. I think just to go back to Fury and Joshua for a moment, it might take Turki Al-Sheikh's intervention in that fight to make it commercially viable, because a sold-out Wembley for Joshua and Fury and pay-per-view numbers, say around 2 million, maybe a little bit more. It doesn't really sell that big in other countries. It's probably going to make them 35 million each, and they'll probably want upwards of that. So you'd wonder if Turki Al-Sheikh wants to dip into his giant pot of gold and maybe support that fight. Maybe he will. Wouldn't surprise me if he did either.
Just to finish it off on Froch, he's obviously got some kind of issue, as done for a while, regarding Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn dismissed it today.
Was that with you?
No, with Eddie Hearn, Froch and Hearn.
Yeah, but who was that with?
Oh, well, he said it on his own channel initially. He did a video about, to Eddie Hearn and Frank Smith, and then he replied today. He was asked a question about it, and yeah, he said that there's no beef with Carl Froch. He said Carl Froch has been very important to Matchroom and his life, etc., etc. Yeah. But what he did say was Carl's just got a way of kind of wording things that, can rub people up the wrong way, and I think we know that anyway. But
he talks like he fights with an ironclad chin and heavy hands, and I think if you listen to Eddie, he's got a soft spot for Carl. He finds it very difficult to dislike Carl, and listen, he almost got him fucking disqualified in the Bute fight by jumping in there. Do you remember? Before the referee had actually called time on the fight. Look, I think, as Eddie said, he'll always have a soft spot for Tony Bellew, for Darren Barker, for Anthony Croller as well, who I've just been with in the Philippines calling an event for Crypto Fight Night. So Eddie's got his faves, because these are guys that he's grown up with over the last 12 years and becoming one of the greatest promoters we've ever seen. We used to joke that he could sell sand to the Arabs, and maybe he has in lots of ways. Frank Smith's a very diplomatic man as well. So, listen, if Carl Froch, I think he's out here, isn't he? Yeah, I mean, I don't know if Eddie's coming out. Probably.
No, Eddie's in Birmingham at the moment.
He's in Birmingham. Yeah. For I like that fight, Rodriguez and Galal Yafai, because what's that interim WBC fly? good fight. 42 fight veteran, the age of 32, Rodriguez. And Galal has got that brilliant, aggressive, counter-punching, come-forward southpaw style. That's going to be a really good fight for Gal. Tough fight as well, because he's just not reached world level or world championship level, Rodriguez, but it'll be a terrific fight. If Carl, Frank Smith and Eddie Hearn were in the same room or sitting here in the restaurant here at the Fairmont with us in Riyadh today, they'd be sitting here chatting, having a laugh. No question about it. Like me and you, we got our rivalries off air. You know, you think you're the kingpin, I know I am. And I know I could take you any time I want. I haven't thrown the head kick at you for a while. That's how maybe we should finish off tonight.
Possibly not.
Go right foot to the chin of the KUGAN.
Definitely not. Just a couple more before I let you go, Gareth.
Come on, Moses and Dillian, you haven't answered
Yes, that's what we were going to. August 16th.
Out here again?
Yes, out here.
Why is it out here though? That's an anomaly for me. I think it's interesting. I think Turkey, Al Sheikh, the Saudi Arabians have probably got a little interest in Whyte-Itauma as well, and he could be the king of the division. I like the matchup. Moses is number one with the WBO, so there's some jeopardy there for Dillian if he could pull off a victory, get right high up there in the rankings. But I think Moses will be too quick. We want to see him under pressure. He's going to have to watch out for that hellacious left hook of Dillian's. But I don't think this is a fight that will go the distance. And I think Moses will notch up a big name on his resume and win by stoppage, mid-rounds.
Why is Dillian Whyte taking the fight, in your opinion?
He's going to get paid really well. That's probably one of the reasons they're out
but
here.
Aside from that,
but it's a good time for him to take a Moses.
he obviously believes he can beat him.
It's a good time. What Dillian said is he wants a proper run at it. This gets him straight up there, straight away if he can win. And he is capable of upsetting the apple cart, but I just think Moses is too young, too fast, too mobile, too agile, too smart. And I think he'll get the job done. But I think that's why Dillian's taking it. Getting paid really well, and there's a big upside if he gets the victory.
Quick one. My battery's going to run out. I don't know why. So I've only done 20 odd minutes.
Plane for 8 hours.
Gareth, Eubank Ben gone quiet. What do you know? Is it still happening for the end of set?
I think they've looked at the Premier League schedule or something now, and it might be a little later than anticipated. I still think the fight will happen. Obviously, Eubank's got to go in front of the board now for his sauna use.
Yeah, what do you make of that?
Well, he's the eternal culprit in their eyes. Massive £100,000 fine for the egg slap that sold the fight, for Eggate. Yeah, I think they've got it in for him a little bit. You know, we were worried about his weight cut. We're worried about his weight cut in the second fight. His dad's worried about the weight cut. I don't know who Chris Eubank Sr. is going to fight. I hope it's not Nigel Benn again. I hope it's not you. I think he'd love to fight you, Eubank Sr.
No, he'd rather fight you, Gareth.
He wouldn't rather fight.
Last time I saw you two together.
Yeah, he was prodding me. Do your job. Do your job. Look, I think he'll probably get a slap on the wrists for the sauna use. They've got to be careful not condoning it, or, you know, he's flagrantly shown a video that he's been in the sauna, and he's flouted the rules, so they're just calling him up in front of the board.
All right, well, listen, it's quite late here. Much appreciate your time. We'll look forward to an interesting day here in Riyadh tomorrow evening for the press conference. Canelo against Terence Crawford.
All day long. We've got a 7-hour session with them all tomorrow in 3 different locations, I think. We start with Crawford in the afternoon, Canelo in the evening, and then the press conference starts at 9, which is about 7 p.m. UK time if you want to watch it live. Hopefully Dana White's here as well. Do you know if he's going to be here or not? Well, hopefully Dana's here. TKO head promoter, of course. No doubt Turkey Al Sheikh and his crew will be here. And I hope they let the media ask some questions.
I think they will do.
I hope so, because we can stir the pots.
Can we get a little for the thumbnail with the vote?
Va-va-voom.
Gareth, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And we'll see you tomorrow.